Hello guys and welcome to this video about film simulations on the Fuji X-M5. Because if you bought into this system, you might have done it because of the possibilities to use film simulations on this Fuji camera. One of the features that many people love about Fuji cameras. So in this video I will show you how you can use the film simulation dial here, and also how you can set up your custom recipes to go out and shoot some straight out of camera JPEGs on this camera. And please make sure to stick around, because I will show you a little trick on how you can get even more custom film recipes than those forced on the photo mode wheel. Let's get started. So first of all, I'm pretty sure you know this, but film simulation are Fuji's way of emulating these classic film stock standard that you will get if you shoot on real film cameras. So on this camera, Fuji have provided a film wheel that will let you change between some of these film simulations pretty fast. So for instance, you get all of the popular Fuji stocks like the Provia, the Velvia, classic chrome, Eterna, and so on. And all of these film simulations will give your JPEGs a different look. So the great thing about this wheel is that you can switch pretty fast between these different kinds of film simulations. I must say I don't really use the dial over here because I'm using custom recipes, and for the custom recipes you actually have to use the photo mode dial instead, which can be a bit confusing. But I will show you how the film wheel works over here, and then we can jump into how you can set up your custom recipes. So let's turn on the camera here and I will show you how this works. So the film simulation dial here is basically just the standard film profiles that Fuji have made that you can use without adjusting anything to the settings. And you simply just use this by turning the knob to whatever film stock simulation that you would want to use. So there are many differences here that you can try out and use however you want it. And the FS1, FS2 and 3 are not the way you put in the custom dial settings. This is a bit confusing because one would think that these are basically just the pre-built film simulations that you can program to be on any of these. So you can access them by using those on the knob. If you go into the menu, the first one under film simulation dial settings, you can change which you want to be on these settings. So really don't know why they have made it like this, but that's just the way it is. Because if you want to be using your own film recipes, then you have to put this one here over on C, which will shut off the film simulation dial over here. And then you will be using the photo mode dial. And then it is C1, C2, C3, and C4 that you can program into being your customizable film recipes. I will quickly just show you how I will program this. So the way I do this is that I go into the photo mode that I want to be using. Let's say aperture mode, and then I dial in all of the settings that I want to be saved to one of the custom profiles. And this is also like you can pre-program the ISO and the aperture and some of the other settings, like which photometric settings you want to be using and stuff like this. This will also be saved to the profile. But what we want to be looking at is, of course, the film simulation. And you can see, because I use aperture mode with RAW, I haven't even touched this. But of course, you would put the image quality to any of the JPEG ones, because RAW will not be affected by the film recipes. It is only built into the JPEGs. So you could put this on normal plus RAW or fine plus RAW, and you will get both the RAW and the JPEGs, but you can also just be using the fine and the normal if you're only shooting JPEGs. And then what you will do is that you will find the recipe that you want to be using, and you will put in the settings from the recipe to these settings here. So this will usually mean that you will pick something like classic chrome, which there are a lot of, and you will adjust the grain and all of these settings here. And when you are done, you will go to Edit, Save Custom Settings, and you will pick the custom setting that you want to save it onto. So for instance, this could be the C4 one. And what you will do is that you will say Save Current Settings. And these settings will then be saved to the C4. And I don't want to do this because I've saved something different on the C4 that I don't want to override. So when you want to be using this custom setting, you will pick the C4 on the wheel, and then it will take you into the settings that you just saved. and I will just go to the C4 because I've saved some settings on this already, as I said. And let's see. This is Reggie's Portrait that I'm testing out. And you can see on my C4, the settings look a bit different. I'm using normal plus raw, and I have dialed in the settings that Reggie have provided. And this is again the classic chrome. And I've set on the grain effect, as he said, and all of these settings I've adjusted the way that Reggie says the recipe is. And then I have saved it to the C4, and I used the save current settings. If you change anything, you can also use the save the changes. And in this menu as well, you could edit the name. You can see I've tested out the Kodak Portra 160 V2 before, but right now it's the Reggie's, so I could change the name to Reggie's Portrait so I remember what is on this profile. One thing that is important to know when you're using custom film simulations is that you tick off this auto update custom settings, because if this is on every time you make a change to any setting, it will automatically save it to the custom profile. So if, for instance, if you wanted to see how this profile looked with another film stock, like the Real Ace, then the camera would save it to the C4. And the next time you go into it, it will still be saved to the C4. And if you don't remember this, then you're not using Reggie's Portrait anymore, but you're using a variation of Reggie's Portrait. So I would recommend you turning this off. And in this menu as well, in the custom mode setting, you can decide if these C1 to C4 should be used for video or photo mode. And personally, I've set this up that the first two are used for video because I also shoot video. So I've set these up to shooting in f/2, 24 frames per second, shooting in f/2, 60 frames per second, and then I have my custom film recipes down here for photo, that is. So one thing to keep in mind is that film recipes that are using the clarity function will make the camera take a longer time when it's taking photo to process it. You see, this takes quite a bit of time, but on the C4 profile there is no clarity, and when we take the photo, it takes the photo right away. So this is something to keep in mind. So on my C3 profile, I am basically using a recipe that is supposed to be working with all of the film stocks that are in the camera. So when I put this into C3, it is supposedly to be used like I can use the dial here to change the film stock, and it should be pretty good with all of these film stocks. And I haven't tested this out yet, but if this really works, then what you actually get on this dial are not just one film recipe, but 14 different kinds of recipes on one dial. So I guess this is good to know. I will leave this recipe down in the description if you want to test this for yourself. Another little trick is that you can actually dial in settings to some of the modes up here, and they will save the settings unless you change it. So it's not saved forever if you go in and change it. Like the auto update function, it will update, but it's another way to dial in some film simulations that you want to test out. For instance, in the movie mode, I have dialed in a film simulation that is supposed to be working great with movies and video. And this will be in the camera as long as I don't change this. And you could basically do this for all of the modes that you have. So for the vlog mode, you could do this to some extent. You can see I've changed something here as well. Or you could do this for any of these photo modes, like the aperture mode that I was in before. If you want to find custom recipes, then I will highly recommend you to go and look on YouTube, where you can find a lot of different users that are sharing their favorite recipes. But also you can go and look on Fuji Weekly or on Fujifilm recipes, where you can find almost all of the Fuji recipes out there. And of course they share a lot of example photos, so you can see if this is something for you. If you just want to use the film recipes in the camera, but you're not sure which to use, then this is what I will recommend. If you don't want to be using your own film recipes, but you just want to be using the film dial over here, then I have some recommendation for you on which film simulations you should be using for different kinds of photography that you're going to be doing. You have the Provia standard, which, as it says, is supposed to be useful for all kinds of subjects and photography, and it has a rather neutral color reproduction. So this is basically something you should be able to use for everything. But if you're more into landscapes, then I would recommend the Velvia. It's supposed to be used by landscape photographers because it has a richer and high contrast color production. For street photography, I would probably recommend the classic Chrome. And this is supposed to be used to documentary photography, which street photography kind of is. And it has this low saturation and hard tonal graduation in the shadows to make it a perfect choice for this. You could also consider using Acros, but Acros is a black and white filter, so this is of course only if you want to be shooting in the black and white. If you are more into portraits, then I would recommend you using the APC-STUFF, and let's see what it says about this. Because this is a film simulation that is supposed to prioritize soft and faithful reproduction of skin tones, while also reproducing vivid skies and greenery. And this is designed to be used for fashion portraits. And if you don't like the APC, then you could try the classic negative for portraits. It's up here. This is a very popular film simulation as well that has some high contrast tonal graduation and adds depth and definition to colors by adjusting the shades in the highlights and shadows while reducing the saturation. So this could also be a film simulation that you could be using for portraits. But if you're looking for a more cinematic and moody film simulation, then I would recommend you to look into the Eterna. This is supposed to be using for video, motion pictures, and this film simulation minimizes saturation to ensure that none of the colors stand out too much, and it provides an extremely soft tonal graduation in the highlights and deep shadows to prevent clipping to reproduce this cinematic look. But of course you can also be using this for photos. This was all for now. I hope you found this video helpful about film simulation on Fuji X-M5 and on some of the other Fuji cameras where you set up custom recipes. If you found this helpful, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to me, and I'm always glad to help anyone out there who have questions about their cameras or about photography in general. So feel free to leave a comment if you have anything that you want me to look into or help you with. I will see you around. Boy.